In this video, I decided to see what would happen if I tried to play Minecraft while my mind was at its weakest. And I'm sleep deprived. Anywho, I like this. You know, I've always wanted to live like in or around a big redwood forest. Nah, but think about the spiders, gang. Think about the spiders. Wow, this is still making my computer throttle a little bit. You know, I don't have the best computer. I used to have a really good computer, but you know, time went on. It was just like, damn, you know. But it's still kicking, surprisingly, with the amount of shit that I've done. Dude, like I tried to get a hard drive once, like a $100 SSD for my computer once to record a video for one of my other channels. Or it might have been this one. It might have been this one, like around the same amount of time that I was deciding that this channel was gonna be no more. Let me tell you guys a little more about the lore of where I came from. Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember it like it was 5,000 years ago. I feel like I've been alive for so damn long. And then you gotta live even longer. That's insane. Like you get to that age where you're like, damn, I've been alive for a long time. And I still have a long time to go. Unless you're like 50, then like your body should probably be clocking out. You should probably have like doctor visits every other day. I mean, God forbid that happens, right? But it's the truth. As people, we are so like just fragile. It's almost sickening because our minds are so much. The human mind is so overbearing for its body. The human mind is too complex for the body that it's in. Basically, what I mean by that is, and I mean, you can see it in literature, you can see it in cinematics, you can see it everywhere. People have dreams, people have goals and aspirations, and these dreams, goals, and aspirations are things that we shouldn't even be thinking about. That's why I say the human mind is just like way too big. Like we dream big for being so weak. All it takes is one bullet. All it takes is you tripping and falling and landing on your head incorrectly. All it takes is you getting sickness somehow by eating something you shouldn't have accidentally, by coming in contact with some airborne disease, by somebody sneezing, not even on you but near you, and you breathing it in accidentally. All it takes is something like that, and you could literally just die, you know? There's so many ways to die. I mean, we're not the only ones that are weak. It's not like you can't walk outside and accidentally step on like 1,000 ants and then continue with your day like they're insignificant. I feel like that's what aliens would do if they saw us. Step on us like we're 1,000 ants, like we're insignificant. I mean, but they wouldn't do that because aliens are on a higher plane of existence. Like if there's interstellar travel, they've made it to the point where violence isn't needed to solve problems. We as people, one of the only species to like really kill, one of the only species to argue with each other this much. Like we're way below advanced thinking. Now I was just talking about the human mind, but negatively. Like we think so much of ourselves, yet we do such stupid things and say such stupid things to each other, you know? And a lot of us believe in such stupid things because our parents believed in such stupid things without truly questioning what it is that we believed in. And this ends up hurting people because, yet again, being human, you're prone to acceptance when it's coming from someone you trust. That's how racism happens. That's how nobody is born racist. That's how hatred is born. Hatred isn't just, it doesn't just come out of nowhere. I mean, we might be at the top of the food chain on planet Earth, but damn, it's like we've got a chain on ourselves. It's like we're basically eating ourselves with how much people are dying from each other. How often people argue with each other. And it sickens me just watching people get mad at each other and watching people want to argue with each other just because they find it entertaining. Like, that in itself is concerning. Getting a kick out of a disagreement, causing emotional distress, winning and losing. Like, why are these things that people care so much about? Winning, losing in an argument, proving somebody wrong or right, talking about somebody in a negative way or manner. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm all high and mighty, like I don't do it, but how can you truly call yourself good when you make fun of other people for things that you don't do and things that don't bother you? How can you call yourself good when you make assumptions based off of things that other individuals do that not every individual does? It gets to a point where I feel like a lot of people nowadays just want to, for some odd reason, they hold this red versus blue mentality. And I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about, you can never agree with someone because it just doesn't feel right. I feel like a lot of people hold that mentality. They don't want to agree with somebody because it doesn't feel, I guess, satisfying enough to an extent. Like, there needs to be some sort of disagreement, and then they'll be okay with it. And then they'll be like, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. But if someone's all like, all right, what do you like better, chicken nuggets or chicken tenders? And they're all like, oh, I like chicken nuggets more. And both people are like, oh, yeah, I like chicken nuggets as well. They can't just be like, yeah, we like chicken nuggets together. Instead, they're all like, well, why do you like chicken nuggets? And then the other person says, oh, well, I like chicken nuggets because of the way that they're shaped. And then the other person's all like, nah, see, that's not why chicken nuggets are good. Like, you couldn't just agree. You had to find something to talk about and disagree with so that the conversation turns into something much more. Like, I mean, I understand that was quite a weak example, but I'm saying, like, think about conversations that are a little more important than that. There are a lot of people out here with this, I have to choose it, I have to pick a team, I can't just understand and live my life. There are a lot of people out here who think that their debates and arguments and the things that they say online or the things that they say really have an effect on society. I mean, it can, but it rarely does. I mean, there's a lot of people talking about a different. You could really just be like, hey, this is really bad, we should stop doing this, and then go to sleep and have to clock in for work tomorrow, and it's like that thing is still gonna continue to keep happening. You are just one person. I often think to myself, like, if I was bulletproof, oh wow, look at that, that's a skeleton riding a spider. I often think to myself, like, if I'm bulletproof, the things that I would do to help the world would be amazing, but I'm not. You know, and it doesn't matter how good you are of a person on a common sense level, you know, because good is its own unique definition to every individual. Someone can think you're good and you killed 15 people yesterday, and someone can think you're good and you planted flowers and trees to preserve the earth. But I'm saying, like, you could do great things to try to help. You could do great things to try to help the world and to try to better humans, even though it's not really your job. And unless you really, really, really get something going, it's not gonna work for you. or if it does work for you, you never get the last laugh. You always get punished for doing good. There's always going to be somebody out there that's upset that what you did was right, and then they'll take your life. That's happens so often with many historical figures that have done great things for society. They end up getting killed. Now, also, I would like to note while I'm talking about this date is kind of sensitive because a lot of things have happened. What I'm talking about now, it doesn't relate to anything on the news or anything around the date that this video has been published. No, it does not. I don't want you to, oh, he's talking about this because of this, that, and the third. No, these are conversations I always hold with myself. These are things I always talk about with myself. And I just thought that I would share them with the community that I built after playing masked normal Minecraft with some mods that would boost click-through and watch time, because I know how brains work. I mean, neuron activation when you see tits and ass. This is no surprise, but like I was saying, this doesn't correlate or relate to anything. It's just me. It's me yapping. Oh, I think that might be a village over there though. That's good. Holy shit. They fried the chickens. Why are the chickens like this? Oh, that's disgusting. You gotta go. All of y'all gotta go. Like, I think about it all the time. If I was bulletproof, the things that I would do. Shit. But I'm not. And then there are so many people just infatuated with greed and their own self achievements and accomplishments that they don't understand that the people around them are what made what they have possible. It's sickening. Like, when you're so narcissistic and full of yourself to the point where you think that everything that you've done, I mean, sure, maybe you put the work in, maybe you tried hard, but nothing was completely done by you. I mean, the shoes you walk in were created by somebody else. The food you eat from the grocery store was given to you by somebody else. The technology you use on a day-to-day basis was crafted by somebody else. You could say that you did what you did to get where you are, whether you're wealthy, successful when it comes to, or whether you're wealthy in a money sense or in a family sense. You know what I'm saying? But everything that you own, everything that you have, was either made by someone else that you bought, learned from someone else, you were taught. Honestly, I don't 100% know where I'm going with this. I just feel like recording, because recording has always been a therapeutic thing for me. Talking about this helps me get my mind off of things. And I'm in that experimental phase of my channel yet again, because I finished one of my another big Minecraft series. All the Minecraft series that I've done on this channel, I mean, I've been doing YouTube for quite some time, man. And a lot of people think that I just started. No. Dude, this used to be a variety channel. I used to have a face cam in every single one of my videos until I found out that that was lowering watch time and viewer retention. I used to have much different editing and also like similar editing, because my editing, I would say, arguably hasn't really gotten much better or much worse. I just looked at the analytics and found out what works better and what doesn't work better. I wouldn't say my skill set has improved when it comes to content creation overall, but I will say that maybe my mentality's changed a little bit, because, you know, when people watch, I feel a little better about what it is that I'm doing, but I still lack a good grasp of how entertaining the videos are. It seems that as years have passed, I've lost that. I'm not sure what the cause of that loss was. Maybe just so many videos as time went on, I like forced myself to reset my mind and be like, okay, you don't know, after all the videos that have failed, and after all the videos that have done better than others, and after all the inexplainable videos, you don't know what would do good and what wouldn't do good. And so you have to post whatever it is that you can when you can, without really thinking too much about it, or you're setting yourself up for failure. That's why this video is coming out. I mean, it still has some clickability though, you know? I mean, there's a lot of slop. There's a lot of bullshit on YouTube as well. Man, I was comparing myself to others, as I usually do, which is a very, very toxic poison, and I don't think anyone should do it. Honestly, if you create content, I feel like your main priority should be staying off of YouTube and not watching other people's YouTube videos. Continuing though, I was watching some other Minecraft YouTubers do similar videos, and I'm like, damn, how did I grow an audience? Because their videos are so brain rot fueled. Like, I'm saying, there's an edit every second with a sound effect every second. I mean, I guess some of those videos are made for children, but that's still unhealthy for the kid. I mean, what type of kid is that? That kid's not gonna be able to grow up watching shit. You know what I grew up watching? Goddamn, I grew up watching young adults live life. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, that's what they had us watching on Disney Channel. Like Victorious and Sam and Cat and shit like that. Teenagers and young adults live like, those were the good times. Now you got a whole bunch of bullshit. I feel like the next generation of kids is absolutely just it's because it sure is looking like we're devolving quite a bit collectively as people, not just as generations, but as humans. Like I've said, straying further from unity and straying more towards incompatibility and chaos and negativity, fueled by boredom, ignorance, self-infatuation, and hatred. That's what the human species is about. I mean, come on, guys. You know what? In the comments of this video, I want you to tell me what your favorite thing is about being a person, being alive. Let me say that. What's your favorite thing about being alive? Is it the food you get to eat, you big back? Or maybe it's the people you get to talk to, the experiences that you get to cherish, the things you learn, the things you yearn. I mean, you know, maybe you get a kick out of the whole adventure. I often struggle with answering that question myself. Also, another bad thing is it seems like nowadays people are so judgmental about everything. People want to control others when it shouldn't matter what other people do. I mean, like, you're not gonna lie, I was, like I said, when I was maybe 16, younger than that, I was also stupid. I would judge, I would make jokes, I would say things that I regret. Of course, we all do. That's just the brain growing. I don't feel like anyone should be held accountable unless they said something extremely unprecedented, like extremely bad, when they were still a growing mind. But then again, there are a lot of people out there that are self-aware. You have to be self-aware to an extent. Like, in my videos, right, I don't like saying the N-word, even though I am black, well, partly black. I don't say it, like, ever And I'm sure a lot of people have realized that. And a couple videos ago, I got a bunch of comments talking about some "what, you're black?" question mark. And I was like, well, I do have black in me, yes. Pause. That's a terrible thing to say when you have a terrible mind. And I asked myself, like, okay, so when they say you're black with all those question marks and they're confused and they're all like, okay, what do you mean you're black? Did you think I wasn't? And what caused you to think that? Because that's just determining somebody's character based off of the way they sound and the way that they act, which is also ignorant. It's putting people into a group, unfortunately, and it's disruptive. It's not good for you nor the person you're talking to. You have to adopt this mentality, like I have, that every single person on planet Earth is an individual. Experiences may be shared. Culture may be connected. But not two people have seen the same thing ever. And I'm saying if you put two people in a room and you had them stand in the exact same place and look at the exact same corner, right? Colored corner, the same image wouldn't be processed in their head the same because their brains are different. Shit, one of them might be colorblind even. But I'm saying that as an analogy or as something that you can compare it to, because you shouldn't be assuming what I am or why I am the way that I am just because other people are certain types of ways. That's a negative way of thinking. And on top of that, when I use the word ignorant, I'm sure a lot of people think that that's a disrespectful word. Ignorance isn't a disrespectful word. The only people that think ignorance is a disrespectful word are the people who are full of themselves. I would say I'm quite ignorant. I would say I'm quite hypocritical at times. I'm quite ignorant. I have a lot to learn and a lot that I could do to grow. Ignorance is just the lack of understanding. Now, ignorance gets bad when you know deep down what the answer is, yet you still choose to deny it. That's when ignorance gets bad. When you're unable to take constructive criticism and you believe that everything you say is right and will forever be right because you are you. That's when things get unhealthy. You know, I'm often happy that I was born at this time because, you know, there's still time in the world for me to become who I want to become, for me to say the things that I want to say and teach people things and be a good person and make people laugh and shit, right? But I'm often like, damn. Sometimes I wish I was born later on when we had flying cars and technology to make it to where you wouldn't get sick and die so easily, or you like, sometimes I wish I was in an advanced civilization. It makes me wonder about the future, you know? Like, because the population is going to continue to keep growing, and we're going to keep advancing as humans, of course. We're going to keep evolving. Unless like a big ass asteroid comes through and just says, pow! And then everyone's cooked. Quite literally. It makes me like wonder how is this going to work in a world where all humans are divided by borders, cultures, on their own separate land masses, how are we gonna come together as one? Because that will have to... Y'all ever play the game Spore? You know, the game where you make the wacky, funky creatures and you go through all the stages of life. There's like, in order to get to that space travel level, you have to either alliance with every single other tribe or kill them all. And we haven't made it to that stage yet. And I feel as if we as humans, or I shouldn't say we, but it will probably be what's gonna end up happening. We're so fixated on preserving our own cultures. We're so fixated on preserving our own cultures and preserving our own differences that we're gonna deny that eventually one day we're all gonna have to come together, and there's gonna be such a big disagreement that many people are gonna get hurt because our brains are so underdeveloped that we can't set aside our differences. It's gonna end up happening. I mean, everyone that's watching this video, including me, we're all probably gonna be old and dead and having nurses wipe our asses for us in retirement homes by the time like it even gets close to this level. And once we do that, then we'll probably start traveling in space. Then we'll start making moves. We're just not at that level yet. Like, think about that shit. Why was there a race to get to the moon? Why couldn't we have just worked together to get to the moon? Oh, I know. You know, I mean, we all know why why they called it a race. And then it's like, oh yeah, we forget that we're all the damn human race. There shouldn't be a such thing as races. We just have different, we look different, and we have different amounts of melanin in our skin, and we may talk different because of our cultural backgrounds and upbringings. That doesn't make us not human. It's the fact that we can all communicate with each other in our own language. You're not gonna be able to walk up to a dog and have a fucking conversation with it like this is Beethoven. Okay? Like this is like Air Buddies. No. Okay? Sky Buddies. What's it called? The one show with the dogs. Anyways, you're not gonna be able to do that shit. But there are people out here saying, oh, you're lesser than because of the way you look, because of the way you act. You're more than because of the way you look, because of the way you act. Dude, we are literally communicating with each other. If we can sit here and say, hey, you're dumber than me, you're speaking to the same species. Not every goddamn animal on the planet speaks English. I mean, well, there might be a couple of orangutans and monkeys, but, you know. Do y'all know the first video that I had ever uploaded onto any channel on YouTube was 13 years ago? Maybe 14 now. And it was Happy Wheels. It was Happy Wheels. I played Happy Wheels. I played Trove. I played Realm of the Mad God. Not on this channel, no. That was a completely different channel. But yeah. I was streaming when I was 11. Maybe 13. I don't think I should have been, but yeah. I remember some sick individual. To this day, I remember some sick individual came into my chat and requested that I played some sort of music trying to get me banned. You know, I always look back on that because as a little kid, how could you be so messed up in the head? And that's probably why we're not going to be able to like set aside our differences, because there are pieces of shit like that on planet Earth. People that don't have a simple understanding of just what is and isn't right. It's not right to kill people. It's not right to hurt people. It's not right to argue with people. No matter what it is you're arguing about, arguments in general are just bad. They're unproductive. Conversations are what they should be called. Arguments are when, instead of relying on facts and instead of relying on solving a problem that both parties have, you incorporate emotion. And once emotion gets incorporated, because people are emotional, sometimes quite emotional, way too emotional for their own goods, you get physical violence, yelling, even though both parties are right next to each other. You get a lack of productivity. Your problem doesn't get solved, and someone ends up getting hurt. I mean, I said all that earlier. I just don't like the way the world is going. It's not going in the right direction. It's not going in the right direction because a lot of parents out here are just spewing nonsense into their children's ears and setting them up for failure in the future. And with how education is and how all sorts of things are changing, it's not looking good. With that being said, I'm going to focus on minding my business and connecting with the people that I can and living life the best way that I possibly can and helping as many people as I can while I do that, and creating as many things that I want to create as I can while I do that, instead of trying to change the world, because that's not something you can do without suffering. And I mean, sometimes you're so selfless to the point where you're willing to suffer to change the world. You're willing to face the consequences to do something that would empower the future. Me, like if you lived a really tough life, a really depressing life, like I'm saying, every single day for like 5 years, you got robbed and touched, and your parents divorced, and you got sick every day, and you like tripped on the same crack in the sidewalk every single day. Like I'm saying, you lived a really, really, really bad life, and then you won the lottery, right? You finally, all of your luck is paid off, and you win the lottery. Oh, I like this biome. I might make my base in here. I love these biomes with the purple trees. And so you're like, yeah, finally my lucky break after all this time. Maybe God is real, right? You go through so much shit that it makes you question your religion, because sometimes that happens to a lot of people, where they just go through thing after thing after thing. They lose faith in whatever it is that they believe in. Me personally, I believe that there is a God. And also within the Bible, I don't really know. I don't want to get into a religious talk like this, but over the years, the Bible has changed so much. And nobody's alive that was there when the Bible was made. Okay? Unless you're a time traveler, you're not alive. Things have been changed in that thing. Or whatever religious book that you follow, things have most definitely been changed in that thing, and have been morphed and constructed into some other group's ideologies and what they think is morally correct and morally incorrect in their opinions, and they've made it seem like, it's God's word. But anyways, I think there is like a higher power. And whatever religion you believe in, I can respect it. I don't care what you are, what you do, unless it's like evil, like, you're sacrificing people in the night. I don't think I can support that, unfortunately. But I'm saying, like, when it comes to what I believe in, I think there is a higher power. But at the same time, it's been proven that humans have gone to space, right? And when you think about that, and when you think about how just endless and how large space is as a whole, it makes you question, there's only one God for our one planet, or are there billions of gods for the billions of planets in the universe? Something doesn't really add up there, and there's some missing something is a little off about that. You know, how can there be all of these planets? And obviously, of course, there's aliens. I mean, you know, with how big the universe is, there's definitely aliens somewhere out there. Shit, probably some attractive aliens too. Shit. Because I know, so there's got to be some planet out there like named KB1727C, right? That planet has got a god, and they've got, like, you know, their own religion on that too. It's like something. And sometimes for people, it's not even about like God being real or not. It's just having something that help you keep going in life. They don't really want to say that, but that's what it is. Like having faith in having a belief in a God helps one from not thinking about a God not existing. Because if a God doesn't exist, that means afterlife doesn't exist. That means endless darkness, and you'll never wake up again, and you wouldn't even know you'd be asleep. But, you know, like I was saying, that's my thought on religion. That's my thought on that. But whatever religion you believe in, like I said, be an open-minded individual. Don't be somebody who's so closed off and somebody who's all like, oh, you're right, you're wrong, because that's an ill way of thinking, okay? Not too open-minded. You know, you don't have to do everything someone says. Like if someone says, hey, consume this fentanyl. Don't consume the fentanyl, okay? That's not being open-minded. That's being no-minded, okay? You don't have a mind at that point. You're like Patrick, his shit, without his shit being plugged in. It gets to a point where you got to use your brain a little bit to understand what you should and shouldn't do. You can be open-minded. You can understand other people. You can try things that people want you to try, but don't try everything. Don't do everything. Don't listen to everything that somebody else says. Don't listen to everything that I say. A lot of the things that I say in the video may be incorrect as well. Oh yeah, I also wanted to talk about that. Okay, this is the last thing I'm talking about, dude. I'm a little upset at myself when it comes to my goals. Because like I said, I've been doing this for a while, and I had no choice but to, well, based off of how things are looking for everybody who wants to grow a community, you've got to do something that you're going to regret in the future if you want to become somebody now at this point. That's just the way it is. And a lot of these platforms, they don't really give a damn. Like TikTok back in the day, back in 2022 and before that, was so fair. It was so even. Now for TikTok, it's all about money. You're not gonna, I mean, you could post 1 billion videos on there and you won't get as much as a lot of these paid people get. This is the first time I've ever seen a frog in default Minecraft survival. Oh my gosh. Anyways, first video that I ever uploaded on this channel was me playing League of Legends with one of my old friends. Okay, yeah, I know, a disgusting game. I'm aware. And I uploaded that in 2018. After that, I uploaded another solo video of myself playing a horror game on Steam called Haunted Gas Station. Man, that video was ass. It wasn't until like 4 months into content creation I decided to do 100 days in Ark, and I got my first video that hit over 10K. And 5 years later, Yeah, okay, I'm gonna end off the recording. I don't know how much I'm gonna cut out of this video. I mean, I know that when I go to sleep and when I wake up in the morning, I'm a different person in a different place mentally. So I might be all like, bro, you can't say that, you can't upload that, you can't post that. I do that quite often. That's why I'm a little afraid of streaming. Not because like I'm nervous, but because I don't trust myself. Well, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and end this off. I hope that this video gave you some sort of entertainment in the slightest. Maybe it made you feel less alone. Maybe it helps you understand, you know, my thought processes and the things that go throughout my head sometimes. And maybe you can learn from this. Maybe you did learn something from this video. Maybe this video's questioned the way that you think. Maybe you've become more open-minded. Maybe things have changed. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe I should stop recording. I'll see y'all. We've still got a lot of time left. I mean, December is like basically the end of the year when I wanted to hit 100K, but it's looking like a little bit after that, unless YouTube yeah, anyways, I hope whatever I hope my pre-existing subscribers and my new subscribers, or the new people that have for the first time seen this channel, like this video. You're gonna be in for a jump scare when you look at my other videos, but just know, like, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I'll see y'all later.